Action.
Hi, I'm Shane Michael, and I'm here with John Beauregard. We're going to be interviewing him about the battle that just happened here over the last few days, July 18th through 21st, 1861. The battle that some in the north call the Battle of Beauregard, and some in the south call the Battle of Manassas. Let's talk with John Beauregard. John Beauregard, why did this battle happen here?
Well, our army, the Confederate Army, was camped about 25 miles outside of Washington, D.C., the Union capital. I was the Confederate general leading the Southern Army. President Lincoln wanted the Union soldiers to attack us because he thought they would be able to beat us. They had more men than we did. We only had something close to about 20,000 compared to close to about 35,000. Anyway, Lincoln thought that since the North had more men, they would easily beat us. And then go capture our capital, Richmond, Virginia, and then the war would be over.
I've heard that because the war wasn't really considered a war yet, this was the first battle fought in Prince William County, Virginia, near Manassas, Virginia, in fact. And probably the first real battle since the war started with the shooting at Fort Sumter in South Carolina. People actually followed the North Army with picnic baskets and lunches because they didn't think anything much was really going to happen. Is this true?
That's true. People thought that. Well, I don't know what the people thought. In fact, they were following an army into battle. I'm sure they were surprised when the fighting actually started.
What was the original plan?
McDowell's original plan was to attack my army, and they really thought that they'd win easily because, like I said earlier, they had more men, and none of the Union soldiers had any battle experience because they were outnumbered. They outnumbered the South soldiers. They thought they'd win, and this Civil War would be over.
Can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
The Union soldiers attacked a section of our men and on Henry's Hill, and that only had about 600 men, which fell apart pretty fast. It's interesting because as we Confederates were trying to get away, we met up with our own Thomas Jackson and his Virginia regiment, who would not retreat and held his ground. He actually made the Union soldiers run.
I've heard that's it because of this battle that Thomas Jackson got the name Stonewall, and the reason he got that name was because he wouldn't move and was like a Stonewall. Is that the story behind his nickname?
Yes, yes, that is right.
Then what happened?
As I said, McDowell and the Union Army hoped to end things quickly and wanted to get us finished before we got more men and more reinforcements. Unfortunately for the Union, things took longer than planned, and those of us who Confederates had enough time to bring in General Joseph Johnston and his men, which was about 9,000 to help me.
Another thing that I've heard reported is that later in the day, a train from the south, I think it was from Genoa to Galilee, showed up with more Confederate troops, and to top it off, Colonel Jack Stewart and his men come and made things even more confusing for the Union.
Oh, it was crazy. There were all of our Confederate soldiers showing up. Nobody from the North expected, and nobody from the North expected, and people were trying to get away. What made things difficult was that the bridges were pretty narrow, and not many people could get across at the same time. And remember the people who followed the Union out with those picnic baskets?
Yes, I do. What happened to them?
They got to see a real fight up close, and and tried to get away with the soldiers. Oh, it was a real mess.
Did your Southern armies chase them out? It seems like they would have been pretty easy to wipe them out.
No, we didn't really follow them much because they were too unorganized to do anything more. So with Johnson, Stewart, Jackson, and my armies, the Union was now outnumbered and was defeated. All total, there were about 5,000 soldiers hurt or killed. And what's interesting is that around 3,000 of them were from the north.
And with that, the Union Army took a day to get back to safety of Washington, D.C. President Lincoln replaced General McDowell with Major General George McClellan. General McClellan went to work getting the Union Army better training and organization to help them for what everything now thinks is going to be a very long and expensive bloody war. Thanks to General Beauregard for talking with us and giving us his take on the battle, the Battle of the Bull Run.
You're welcome. Thanks for talking with me. Long live the South and General Jefferson Davis.
This is Shane Michael reporting for CWN News.